evening. My dear friends, imagine waking up in a quiet house where the only sounds you hear are the ticking of the clock and the soft hum of the refrigerator. The world outside continues at its usual pace, but within those four walls, there's a unique kind of silence. It's a silence that often brings peace, and sometimes a creeping sense of loneliness. Today, I want to share something that no one tells you about living alone as you grow older. We arrive at a house, and there's just us and the place we share. And to go with it are the decisions, the actions, and the responsibilities that no one else can take away from you. It's not all independence and freedom. There are some things no one prepares you for, some realities you don't expect until they are right in front of you. If you've ever wondered what it truly feels like to face life alone in your later years, stay with me until the end of this speech, because what I'm about to share might just change the way you see this stage of life. One of the most challenging aspects of living alone as an older person is the loneliness and isolation that often accompany it. In a world where social connections are so important, the absence of companionship can be profoundly difficult to navigate. Loneliness doesn't always come from being physically alone. It can stem from a lack of emotional connection, from the absence of regular interactions with family, friends, or even colleagues. Many older individuals find themselves in situations where they have fewer opportunities for social engagement, especially if they no longer work. Their children have moved away, or friends have passed on or become less active. This loneliness can sometimes be overwhelming, particularly as the years go by. The silence in the house can feel deafening, and moments that were once filled with the joy of shared experiences can now feel empty. It's easy for feelings of neglect or invisibility to take hold, especially if there is a sense that the world is moving forward without you. You might watch your friends grow older or hear about their social activities, and it's easy to feel left out or forgotten. It's easy for feelings of neglect or invisibility to turn into invisibility. It's easy to feel disconnected, and it's hard to have the energy that's for broadband. The holidays, once a time for family gatherings, can become particularly difficult, highlighting the stark contrast between the bustling, connected life you once had and the solitude of your current reality. Loneliness, however, isn't just an emotional burden. It has been linked to a number of serious health problems. Research has shown that prolonged loneliness can lead to depression, anxiety, and a decline in overall mental health. It can also exacerbate physical health issues, as individuals who feel isolated may not have the motivation to maintain healthy routines or seek necessary medical care. Without someone nearby to encourage you or even remind you to take care of yourself, it's easy to let healthy habits slip. As the isolation deepens, it can feel like a never-ending cycle that's difficult to break out of. What's even more challenging is that many older people don't openly talk about their loneliness. There's a stigma surrounding the topic that can make it harder to reach out for help. Society often assumes that older adults are fine with being alone, that they're used to solitude, or that they don't need as much social interaction. But the reality is that loneliness can strike at any age, and it can be just as devastating for older individuals. Unfortunately, this stigma can prevent them from seeking out companionship or support when they need it most. It's important to understand that loneliness is not an inevitable part of growing older. While it is a natural feeling that may arise from time to time, there are ways to combat it. Many older individuals find solace in discovering new hobbies, pursuing creative endeavors, or getting involved in local community activities. Volunteering, joining senior groups, or taking part in online communities can open doors to new friendships and provide a sense of purpose. Finding new ways to connect with others, whether through technology or in person, can make a huge difference in mitigating feelings of isolation. Loneliness is not about being physically alone, it's about the lack of meaningful connection. It's about the absence of those little moments of human interaction that we all take for granted. The good news is that even in solitude, it's possible to form connections, whether through fostering relationships with neighbors, participating in group activities, or seeking professional support. It may take time, but the effort to overcome loneliness can be life-changing. With the right mindset and resources, older individuals can find ways to fill the silence, build a supportive network, and enjoy the richness of life, even in their later years. As people age and experience significant life changes, one of the most overlooked challenges of living alone is the loss of routine and purpose. For many older individuals, daily routines were once defined by work, family commitments, and social engagements. These activities provided structure, a sense of belonging, and most importantly, a purpose that helped shape their identity. However, as these commitments fade, whether due to retirement, children growing up and moving away, or friends and family becoming less active, individuals often find themselves without the same daily structure that once gave their lives meaning. At first, the freedom that comes with living alone may feel liberating. Without the daily demands of work or family obligations, there's a sense of autonomy and control over how the day unfolds. Yet, this freedom can quickly lead to a lack of direction. When your calendar is no longer filled with appointments, meetings, or social events, it's easy to start feeling like each day is indistinguishable from the next. The absence of a clear schedule can result in an overwhelming sense of aimlessness, leaving older individuals struggling to find something meaningful to fill their time. For many, this loss of routine can lead to a decrease in motivation. Without something to look forward to or work toward, it can be difficult to get out of bed in the morning or engage in activities that once brought joy. Physical health, too, can be affected, as the absence of a routine often leads to a decline in exercise or an inconsistent approach to eating and self-care. When there's no routine to follow, it's easier to fall into unhealthy habits, such as staying indoors too much, not preparing nutritious meals, or neglecting personal hygiene. Over time, this lack of motivation can snowball into a deeper sense of dissatisfaction, creating a vicious cycle that feels hard to escape. One of the hardest aspects of living alone, especially as an older person, is adjusting to the loss of purpose that often comes with this change. Purpose gives individuals a reason to get up each day, to engage with the world around them, and to strive for personal growth. It could be a job, a volunteer role, or even the sense of responsibility toward family. When that purpose is removed or altered, it can leave people feeling unimportant, invisible, or unfulfilled. This can trigger feelings of depression, anxiety, or despair, as individuals may begin to wonder if they still matter in the grand scheme of life. It's important to note that this loss of routine and purpose is not a permanent state. While it may feel difficult to establish new patterns of living, it's possible to create new routines that offer structure and meaning. Pursuing hobbies, learning new skills, or even partaking in volunteer work can help provide a new sense of purpose. Many older individuals find deep satisfaction in teaching younger generations, sharing their wisdom, or contributing to their communities in ways that bring them fulfillment. This can be an opportunity for personal growth, allowing older people to explore passions or interests that were once put aside. Creating new goals, whether big or small, can reignite a sense of purpose. Some may find that traveling, writing, or even starting a small business are ways to redefine their purpose. Others might find solace in reconnecting with nature or taking up new physical challenges. The key is to stay open to new possibilities and allow oneself the grace to explore different paths. Building a new routine doesn't happen overnight, but through patience and persistence, it is possible to rebuild a sense of direction and meaning. Many older individuals discover that they don't have to fill every minute with productivity. Embracing the idea that purpose doesn't always equate to constant activity is important. Sometimes purpose can come from simply enjoying the quiet moments, reflecting on past experiences, or finding peace in solitude. It's about creating a new rhythm of life that suits one's current needs and desires, whether through social connections, personal endeavors, or community involvement. Living alone can be a time for reinvention, not just resignation. It's a chance to explore new dimensions of self and embrace the freedom to pursue what truly matters. With time and the right mindset, it's entirely possible to build a new routine that brings not only structure, but also joy, satisfaction, and a renewed sense of purpose. Another often underestimated challenge of living alone as an older person is the physical and emotional toll it can take on a person's health and well-being. As individuals age, they may find that their bodies no longer respond the way they once did, and the everyday tasks they used to take for granted can become increasingly difficult. When living alone, the lack of assistance or support can make managing these changes even more daunting. What was once a simple matter of running errands, cleaning the house, or preparing meals can become physically exhausting or even unsafe. For example, climbing stairs or bending down to pick something up might no longer feel as easy, and the fear of falling becomes more prominent. This fear can lead to a sense of vulnerability, making it harder to take on tasks or go about daily life with confidence. This decline in physical abilities can also lead to a sense of frustration and loss. It's common for older individuals to mourn the strength and independence they once had, which can trigger feelings of sadness or even anger. There may be moments when they look at their surroundings and feel overwhelmed by the number of things they can no longer do by themselves. Whether it's struggling to carry groceries or feeling winded after a short walk, these physical limitations can serve as a constant reminder of the inevitable passage of time. And when there's no one around to offer help or lend a hand, it can lead to feelings of helplessness and isolation. The lack of someone to share in the day-to-day aspects of life can also negatively impact mental health. Social interactions, even small ones, play a crucial role in maintaining cognitive function and emotional resilience. Without regular engagement with others, the mind can begin to slow down, and feelings of boredom or frustration may emerge. A lack of conversation and social connection can also contribute to an increased sense of sadness or even depression. The absence of family or friends to check in on them or help with reminders can leave older individuals feeling forgotten, which deepens emotional pain. Living alone often means that health emergencies, whether minor or major, are experienced in solitude. It's common for older individuals to experience medical issues or accidents that require assistance. Whether it's a sudden illness, an injury, or the need for physical therapy, the absence of someone to help can be incredibly daunting. In these moments, the fear of not being able to reach out for help or feeling like no one is there to care for you can exacerbate feelings of vulnerability. This sense of physical and emotional isolation can lead to increased anxiety and stress, as the thought of needing help but not being able to get it becomes overwhelming. This situation often highlights the importance of self-care and the need to be proactive about managing one's health. Without a strong social support system in place, older individuals need to make a conscious effort to prioritize their well-being. This can include maintaining a healthy diet, staying physically active to the best of their ability, and regularly seeing a doctor for checkups. It's also essential for those living alone to stay on top of any medical needs and find ways to maintain a level of independence while still acknowledging when assistance is necessary. Even more importantly, developing strategies for emergency preparedness can help alleviate some of the stress that comes with living alone. This might include setting up emergency contact lists, using technology to stay connected with loved ones, or having a medical alert system in place. For some, joining community groups or participating in local activities may provide the social interaction they need to feel supported and less isolated. This helps not only provide emotional fulfillment, but also ensures that there are people around who can offer assistance when needed. It's crucial to recognize that while the physical and emotional challenges of living alone can be daunting, they are not insurmountable. A combination of preparation, community involvement, and self-care can help mitigate the negative effects of living alone. There may be difficult days when the reality of aging and solitude feel overwhelming. But with the right resources and support, older individuals can take proactive steps to maintain both their physical and mental health, ensuring that their later years are as fulfilling and independent as possible. Living alone as an older person often brings with it an increased sense of vulnerability, both physically and emotionally. As we age, our bodies naturally become more fragile, and the likelihood of accidents or health issues increases. However, this vulnerability is not just about physical health. It also encompasses the emotional and psychological challenges that come with growing older in isolation. Many older individuals report feeling more anxious or fearful as they navigate daily life on their own, not just because of the physical risks, but also because of the emotional toll that comes with the uncertainty of their future. Without the presence of close family or friends nearby, these feelings of vulnerability can intensify, making it difficult to feel safe or secure in one's own environment. One of the primary sources of fear for older individuals living alone is the fear of medical emergencies. As health issues naturally become more prevalent with age, there is always a concern that something could go wrong, whether it's a fall, a heart attack, or any other medical issue that requires immediate attention. In these moments, the lack of immediate support can be frightening. If something were to happen, the idea of not being able to reach out to anyone or having to wait for help can be distressing. Older individuals often fear the worst when it comes to their health, wondering if they'll be able to get the help they need in time. The emotional impact of this fear can make simple daily activities feel daunting and can heighten feelings of stress, anxiety, and insecurity. This heightened vulnerability can also manifest in the fear of losing independence. For many, maintaining a sense of independence is one of the most cherished aspects of life, but it can become increasingly difficult as they grow older. The fear of needing assistance, whether for medical reasons or simply for day-to-day tasks, can lead to feelings of inadequacy or shame. As the need for help increases, it may become harder to accept that independence may not be as easily attainable as it once was. This fear of losing autonomy can prevent individuals from asking for help, which can further isolate them and exacerbate the emotional toll of living alone. Another aspect of this vulnerability is the fear of losing control over one's living situation. When living alone, many older people are solely responsible for their homes, from maintaining the property to paying bills and managing other financial obligations. This responsibility can create a sense of pressure, particularly if financial difficulties arise or if the home becomes difficult to maintain. The fear of being unable to keep up with these obligations can make an individual feel increasingly anxious and worried about their future. They may also worry about being forced to move into an assisted living facility or giving up their home altogether. The loss of control in this regard can feel deeply unsettling, especially when there's no one around to help with decisions or to provide reassurance. Living alone can also lead to an increased sense of emotional vulnerability. The absence of a partner, children, or close friends means that there is often no one there to provide emotional support in times of need. For many, the emotional impact of loneliness can be just as, if not more, distressing than the physical challenges of aging. Without someone to share concerns with, to laugh with, or to simply talk to, many older individuals experience feelings of sadness, anxiety, and even despair. This emotional isolation can make an individual feel like they're carrying the weight of their vulnerabilities alone, further intensifying feelings of fear and insecurity. Yet, despite these challenges, it's important to recognize that living alone does not have to mean being powerless or helpless. There are ways to mitigate the vulnerability that comes with living alone as an older person. One important step is building a strong network of support. Reaching out to family, friends, or neighbors, and maintaining these relationships can help create a sense of security and reassurance. Many communities offer programs specifically designed to support older adults, from health monitoring services to social gatherings that provide opportunities for connection. Additionally, seeking professional help or advice, whether from a healthcare provider or a counselor, can help address both physical and emotional vulnerabilities in a proactive way. Another crucial step is to take advantage of technology. Medical alert systems, for example, can be life-saving in emergencies. Similarly, devices that allow individuals to stay connected with loved ones or caregivers, such as smartphones or home monitoring systems, can ease the fear of being alone in times of need. Embracing technology can provide an added layer of safety and security that allows older individuals to feel more in control of their living situation. While the vulnerability of living alone as an older person is real, it does not define the experience. It is possible to navigate these challenges with the right resources, support systems, and mindset. By addressing both the physical and emotional aspects of vulnerability, older individuals can regain a sense of empowerment and independence, ensuring that their later years are lived with dignity, safety, and confidence. One of the most profound and often underestimated